So aloha, what goes on? It's Mike's from livemyassoff.com. I'm out in what some might call, hello, the middle of nowhere. And I can assure you it is hardly that. It is what's referred to as World's End, which by the label you might even say, yes, that means it's in the middle of nowhere. So I am in Hingham, Massachusetts, visiting my folks where I grew up. They gratefully still live here, which allows me to come back and revisit all of the good stuff from my childhood, right? Because I think we all have that euphoric recall. But the neat thing is that when you're, I guess one of the neat things about being an adult, other than being able to eat dessert first, is the fact that you can relive those moments, but only relive the good stuff. And so that's what I get to do in the summers when I come back here. I don't have to deal with the winters in New England. I show up in July, it's hot, it's humid, less people are stressed out, and I still get to do stuff like this. Now it's a Saturday, so arguably, and it's beautiful, the weather is literally gorgeous here. And so you could argue that this is going to be the busiest day of the week. And it is what's known as only child perfect right now. I'm the only guy. And I'm actually not surprised. If you go back to one of my original videos on this channel, you'll see that it started, one of the first few videos was definitely, I believe it was in Hingham. I think I was down at the harbor though when I started, and I had just like won a GoPro at one of those like conferences or something like that. So I was starting to use that. And so I started there, and then I also did some videos of me walking around here in World's End. And this place holds a huge soft spot in my heart. I absolutely adore it here. There is just like so much ability to relax and do a whole lot of nothing. So I definitely wanted to share this with you. What I'm going to do is I'll walk up to the top of the first sort of hump. There's like two humps, and the first one is Planter's Hill. And then the second one is actually World's End. And then there's this like little strip of land in between the two. And that was a neat spot because that was where, when I was a boy, my dad got me a whaler when I was like 12, right? So you're sort of learning how to do things, and much like you learn how to ride a bike, when you have a boat, one of the things you need to learn how to do is drive it. And so the way I would do that is there's this little spot of land, basically this little isthmus that goes between these two humps, as I recall, as I stated them. And the actual land is probably about 100 feet long. So what I would do is I would drop my dad off on one side, and I would drive my boat all the way around one of these little mini islands, if you will, and then pick him up on the other side. And so that allowed me to beach it, to start it, to back up, to go forward, to learn how to use the right of way, and just absolutely awesome learning experience. And so this is one of my more favorite things to do when I come home, is to go out here to World's End and just kind of relax and chill out. And once again, I'm grateful that I'm pretty much the only guy around making noise right now. So I'm going to turn off the camera. I'll take some video and share that with you guys too, but I'm just going to enjoy this and relax. So it's Mike's from livemyassoff.com saying I hope wherever you are, you're safe and happy. Hope you're living the dream. And I hope you've got those times in your life where you can like have that euphoric recall and actually go back and only relive the positive places. So, ciao. So what's interesting is I honestly don't know who this guy is, who sadly at 60 years old passed away, and they put this rock here. I can only assume that he's some guy who basically owned all this land or was part of the Trustees of Reservations, which is the sort of state organization or non-profit organization. Certainly, it's not really a state organization, but, well, it is sort of. But it's part of the MDC, Massachusetts District Commission, I believe is what that stands for. But the good news is that because I haven't been here in so long, I actually forget a lot of this stuff. And actually, I have no problem with forgetting government stuff. Anyway, so this is the top of the first hill, which I believe is called Planters Hill. I could totally be wrong. I actually, but I think that's what it is. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, the name of it, trust me, is regardless of the name, there's enjoyment available, and quite frankly, I think that's the main thing. So I just kind of wanted to show you the peak of it and some of the views that are available from up here. It really, I will tell you that not only am I proud of the town that I grew up in, honored that my parents decided to make this my home, our home, when I was a little boy, because it was a great place to grow up, let me tell you. And I feel so blessed. And I tell you, I feel more and more blessed the more other places I go to that aren't here. But to be fair, I also, after living here for, let's see, when did I leave? After living here the first 19 years of my life, I also realized that I like warm. And but this is really beautiful out here. And July and August are my months here, man. They are just like so gorgeous. So anyway, so I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you. I'll share some more as I go down here, but I gotta tell you, if you are ever in the Boston area and it is sunny and warm out, you may like walking in the rain, I don't know. For me, I prefer to be outdoors now when it is over 80. I think it's like about 83, very humid, which is, again, perfect for me. But if you ever get the chance, from Boston you would take Route 3 south, and it is, I mean, with no traffic it's like 20 minutes, right? But that's kind of like saying, if there's no traffic in downtown New York City, or sorry, in downtown New York City, in Manhattan, then yeah, you can get from point A to point B, and right. So yes, there would probably be traffic, but you could also take the commuter boat, which is what I did, from Boston down here to Hingham, and you don't have to pick it up at the airport. You can pick it up at Rose Wharf, Long Wharf. We're fairly close to each other. I don't recall exactly which one the commuter boat leaves from. I think it's Rose Wharf, but I don't know. Doesn't matter. MBTA space boat. Just Google that. You'll find out the correct information. So anyway, just thought I would share a little bit of my childhood with you. And I got to tell you, so here's one of these things that 49 years later, I mean, when I started coming here and enjoying it, quite frankly, I was, 10, 11, 12, right? So you could argue that really I've only been coming here for about, only for about 30 years. 40. Wow. But in any case, it's one of these deals where it has not changed. Like, every year the grass grows, every year they cut the grass. And did I have this too zoomed in? God, I hope my face wasn't too big. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, the grass will grow, and then it gets short again, and then it gets cut, and then it rains, and then the trees grow. So, indeed, I'm sure all of these trees are larger over the last 40 years. But I can tell you, this has not changed from my perspective. And the popularity of it, while that's increased, I can tell you that on a Saturday in July, right before July 4th weekend, right before July 4th, today's July 1st, 2017, there's plenty of parking. So while the fees of entry may have increased a little bit, I can tell you that it's not like it's inundated with way too many tourists. So this is one of these still untouched sort of areas that I encourage you to come and experience, because it is gorgeous. I mean, all you got to do is come, sit here, and look out there, which is basically into downtown Boston, which is like right over there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of haze because of the humidity. But yeah, I mean, that's downtown Boston. It's awesome, man. It's totally awesome. I hope you have a special spot like this in your life. And if it's where you grew up and where you live, then, or where you currently live, that's pretty awesome. Because I know Gracie, she shows me pictures of the house that her folks have and in the sweeping hills and land and stuff that they have. And it's pretty gorgeous. But for me, I need all that and water. I'm a beach guy, I'm an ocean guy, I'm a sailor, I'm a boater. So anyway, just a little bit more World's End for you. So this is that little isthmus that I was talking about. That's World's End. That hill over there is World's End. And so there's the distance between the water on either side. So I would drop my dad off here and I would drive all the way around the island and basically come in here. And it takes like 20 or 30 minutes, I suppose, depending upon how fast I would go. But that's Planters Hill up there where I just came from. A couple paths on either side. It's rad, man. It's totally rad. It's really enjoyable. Come here if you get a chance, for sure. Hey there. How's it going? So what's really cool about that is that it is an interesting contrast, and I like to talk about contrasts, as you know. And the neat thing is it's sort of modern contemporary art, or at least that's how they label it. I would just label it as something cool. I'm not that sophisticated, but it is modern contemporary art meets a national park that has been here forever. And so I honestly think that there were people that obviously promoted it and got it there and got it done. And then, like everything, there were also people that thought it was a horrible idea. And spent time and attention and probably some money trying to get it not built. And stuff like that just makes me laugh, right? Because it's like, I don't know, you saw the size of it, right? I mean, considering this is, you know, hundreds and hundreds of acres, or I don't know, maybe it's only 100, I don't know. It's a lot of acres that, you know, to say, hey, listen, what are you doing damaging 25 square meters of this? How dare you? I don't know, it's just always funny. And I absolutely acknowledge and know that in my life I absolutely balk and argue about things that should not be different, should not change, that sort of thing. Personally, I think I'm actually pretty open to change, and quite frankly I think I thrive on it, but I understand that the majority of people do not like change. Even if it's sometimes able to be labeled as change for the better by others, it's change. Some people don't like that. And I will tell you that it's a lot more change friendly in California, in my opinion, than it is here in New England. For some things. I mean, obviously there's, you know, the world's best schools in Boston. Harvard, MIT, Tufts, that sort of thing. Boston University, Boston College, you know, etc. I mean, there's dozens of them, and they're doing very innovative stuff, especially at MIT, of course, right? And but you know, there's also that history that you could argue it keeps Harvard very stagnant in some areas, even though they're certainly in the top 3 largest endowments of any university in the world. And a lot of people would call them the #1 university, unless she went to Yale, then you would disagree with that statement. But I don't know. Anyway, I just love walking around, and I love sharing little places like this, places like this with you, because there's absolutely no way that I can, really share this with you any more than this. This is one of these things that, you know what, and I actually find all of my travels in Southeast Asia to be able to be labeled with the statement, and the pictures don't do it justice. The enormity of the reclining Buddha in Bangkok, you are unable to understand and comprehend and feel the size of that unless you're there. There is no picture. Now, maybe augmented reality / virtual reality could get you closer to reality, but I would submit that you gotta go, you gotta be there. And actually, I'm really excited that there's a lot of places in the world like that, because I like going to places in the world. So it gives me even more motivation to do that. I emailed this woman, Mari Johnson, actually, about some country she was in. This was a while ago. And I said, so what is about, the cost and ... that sort of thing. And she described a couple of things. And then at the end of the email, she just simply responded, just go. Actually, maybe it wasn't her, I can't remember. Regardless, Mari Johnson, actually, I want to give her a shout out, because she does amazing videos, and her boyfriend had gone through Vietnam recently, and it's part of her YouTube channel. So I'll put a link to that below. She's totally awesome. And I love her personality. It's incredibly bubbly and very positive, because as you know, when you travel, imperfections show up. And so, and I'm not just talking about like a delayed flight. Like, I'm talking about, okay, so the boat's not leaving, so we have to stay here for one more day. Whatever, that sort of thing, right? But anyway, just come, just go. I mean, I suppose you could, yeah, no kidding, Nike, just do it, right? I mean, they weren't kidding. But that's probably one of the truer ad campaigns that ever existed. Because I could debate that quality being job one isn't necessarily realized with every product that Ford makes. However, just doing it, I can do that whether I buy Nike sneakers or not. In fact, I don't think I bought a pair of Nikes in forever. They're just too expensive. They're just too expensive. The sneakers that I just bought cost over $200, and the insole, the custom insole, was $100. So you're right, Nike. I probably could have gotten one of yours cheaper. But these ones I have are really loud. Anyway, I don't know. I'm on vacation. And I am basically on vacation until about, probably about 4 a.m. a week from tomorrow. Because I don't head back in my flight until, my flight leaves at like 7 in the morning on Sunday. But I'm here in an area that could arguably be referred to as where the country started. Sure, it's not Philadelphia, but a lot of stuff happened in Boston. If you believe that the country started when the Pilgrims showed up, well, then now you know what I mean. So anyway, I just gotta keep walking. I'm actually gonna stop talking. Ciao. So I'm stoked that this is here, because I wanted to kind of show you on the map what it looks like. So I entered here and then parked, and I basically started talking to you right about there. But what's funny about this, of course, is that if you've never been here before, and you look at this, there's no "You Are Here" sign here. But basically, where we are is here. And so, again, World's End is the end, and then Planters Hill is right here where I was, and that sort of, I don't know, gravestone, basically, was right there at Woodson Memorial. And so it's a pretty vast place. I mean, the fun part about it, right, of course, is that World's End is the smallest of the two sort of land masses. And then Rocky Neck over here is kind of neat. You basically have to get to it with little, in the woods paths and that sort of thing. But I mean, that's half the fun, right? So anyway, so I've come down, and so I'm gonna walk around here and then probably go back up this way. Actually, when I got here, I apologize. I came this way and down here, and so now I'm right there. So anyway, this is pretty cool. Hope you're enjoying it. And again, I really hope you guys come here someday. It's pretty neat. So there's the fork in the road, and off we go to the left. You know, it's funny. I just got the feeling of being on vacation, and I just wanted to share that I feel like I'm on vacation. Now, you could argue it's like, no, Mike, that's just exhaustion that's finally caught up with you after basically spending 10% or 20% of the last 2 weeks in planes. Sometimes the planes being my hotel room, my seat being my hotel for the night. But I just wanted to share the feeling of being on vacation. And while I'm always working, in the sense that, you know, my email works 24 hours a day, and wherever there's internet, you can get a hold of me, I definitely feel as though, for the most part, I live on vacation. And that's a good feeling. But I haven't felt that way in a while. So I feel that way now. And that's pretty awesome. Yeah. Pretty awesome. Yeah. Pretty awesome.